You know what I'm saying? From the hood to Hollywood that you gotta have, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you getting it. You know what I'm saying? See, people never seen how I really put it down because unless you're a part of that, I'm not gonna let you see that. The only thing you're gonna see is us enjoying ourselves. That's what you're supposed to.
The streets are heating up and the tension is thicker than ever. Word is, Big Meech is not holding back. He's coming straight for 50 Cent, accusing him of doing the unthinkable, turning his own blood, Lil Meech, against him. This ain't just some industry disagreement. This is family betrayal meets street politics. Sources say the drama kicked off the moment Big Meech got out and linked up with Rick Ross, a move that clearly rubbed 50 the wrong way. We all know 50 and Rose don't mix, so when Meech made that connection, it wasn't just business, it was personal. Now caught in the crossfire is Lil Meech, stuck between loyalty to his father and the man who put him on the map. The energy is getting hostile, and it's only a matter of time before something snaps.
Right, they don't even understand that you know, the way we grew up, you're supposed to spend no more than 10 or 20% of what you make. You know what I'm saying? So you can have something.
Just being with him everywhere, seeing nice things all the time since I was born. So I always knew that he was doing something. I mean, I don't know, it could have been anything. So it's just, I had a fun childhood, crazy childhood.
He was able to do it because, you know, like financially, I was supporting the idea and I believe he could do it. He had moved to California and was working with acting coaches. And his dad didn't know that he was actually doing that.
What's the best memory of 50 Cent?
Best memory of 50 Cent? Ever since I met 50 Cent, he's always been stand up and probably the most truthful person I've ever met.
Lil Meech got Richard Millie's Chrome Hard jeans, 10,000. I buy some Chrome Hards for 10,000. I might wear them shits for a month, bro.
At first, Lil Meech played it cool, showing love to 50 Cent, praising him for putting him in position and giving him a shot with BMF. But lately, that energy shifted. Both Lil Meech and Big Meech seem to be drifting away from 50 East Camp and cozying up with Rick Ross. And now the tension is boiling over. Word on the street is Big Meech is fuming after 50 Cent aired him out publicly, calling him a bad father, a poor role model, and accusing him of glorifying drug culture while mismanaging the empire he built. That hit deep, especially coming from someone who once claimed to be honoring Meech's legacy on screen. And let's be real, Meech ain't taking that lightly. Now the whispers are turning into roars. Big Meech and Lil Meech are allegedly plotting a direct hit on 50E's brand with their own rival BM series in the works. And guess who's rumored to be backing it? None other than Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, to powerhouses with money, influence, and no love lost for 50 Cent. This ain't just revenge, it's a power play. But while this alliance is making headlines, fans aren't. Sold. Some are hyped, ready to ride for the Flannerys, but others are raising eyebrows. Is Ross really about legacy? Is Floyd in it for family or just another bag? Critics are warning that the Flannery name could be used, not uplifted, and that this move might end up backfiring in the long run. One thing's clear, the lines are drawn, and this BMF beef just got personal.
About, man, Meech, bro, I don't know. Lil Meech, I ain't like his response. It seemed like he got a genuine kind of love for 50 on his response. But, you know, my response, nigga, fuck you, nigga. Nigga, that's my daddy. Nigga, fuck you, nigga. Nigga, let's go to war. Nigga, fuck you. And everything you, nigga, fuck you. I don't know what Meech was on some. Nigga, that's my paw, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Right, wrong, nigga. Nigga, I don't give a fuck, nigga. Is my son, nigga, my nigga ain't gonna go against this grain. Fuck that. I was like, damn, you know, like, seemed like him and 50 got a, you know, cause after that thing came out, how Meech was talking all, you know, like, no, nigga, fuck all y'all. I'm with my dad, nigga, you know, I ain't like his response.
So now everybody's asking the same question. What is Big Meech really cooking up behind the scenes? And what did 50 Cent say that hit so hard it lit this whole feud on fire? Because whatever it was, it clearly struck a deep nerve. See, Big Meech isn't the type to sit back in silence, especially not when someone like 50 Cent is out here dragging his name in public. After 50 publicly questioned his parenting, throwing shade at how Meech raised his son and labeling him a negative influence, things went from simmering to straight up explosive. Now, Meech is on a mission, and all signs point to retaliation. Not with words, but with a calculated, strategic power move. Behind the scenes, the fallout hit Lil Meech hard. Once 50 started pulling back, distancing himself, and even hinting that BMF might not return, Lil Meech reportedly got shook. He allegedly tried to do some damage control, reaching out to 50 and trying to smooth things over. And here's where it gets messier. He supposedly downplayed that viral photo of his dad with Rick Ross. The same picture that triggered 50 in the first place. Lil Meech allegedly messaged 50 saying something along the lines of, "Forget Ross. He just gave my dad some money to hold things down until the next season." Then he added, "This online stuff got me confused, you know me in real life." It sounded like a desperate attempt to stay in good standing to keep the acting role alive. But 50 wasn't buying it, not even a little. Instead of patching things up, 50 clapped back harder than ever, publicly mocking the message. He shut down any hopes of a next season with the cold line, "What next season, little ninja?" And just like that, he doubled down, ridiculing Lil Meech, dragging him for fumbling the bag, and even throwing shade that his next gig might be on Love and Hip Hop. That right there, that was a full-on industry slap. And now, it looks like Big Meech is done playing nice.
Meech and Lil Meech looks like they are officially partners with Floyd Mayweather. Now they're being very tight-lipped about the venture, but my guess is it is going to be big. Floyd Mayweather is a very, very competitive person, and he will pull out all the stops in his attempt to beat 50 Cent.
50 Cent feels played, and he's making sure the whole world knows it. Now that Big Meech is publicly linking with Rick Ross, what started as low-key tension has turned into an all-out war, with 50 firing off shots left and right, especially down in Atlanta, where the Flannery name still holds weight after throwing shade about Lil Meech possibly ending up on Love and Hip Hop. 50 doubled down in true troll fashion, saying, "I'll call Mona Scott for him later today." That wasn't just pettiness, that was power play pettiness, flexing how quickly he could shift someone's entire career with a phone call. But 50 wasn't done. He came back swinging harder this time, digging into the past and pulling out old footage of Lil Meech with Rick Ross's daughter, Toy Roberts, back when they were an item. It wasn't just gossip, it was a calculated jab aimed at both the Flannery and Ross families, questioning not just loyalty, but fatherhood itself. Why didn't someone send Meech to acting school? 50 taunted, throwing shade at the entire circle around Lil Meech. He kept going, "You came home thinking you're the Black Pablo Escobar and just made things worse." That was a direct hit to Big Meech's pride and legacy, calling him out not only as a flawed parent, but as a man whose return caused more chaos than clarity. And just in case the message wasn't loud enough, 50 reminded everyone that while Meech sat behind bars, it wasn't Ross or Mayweather helping his son, it was him. He made it clear, "I gave that boy a real shot while the rest of y'all stayed silent." Then came the final blow. Money. 50 claimed he helped the Flannery family legally earn over $5 million through the BM series, and now he's alleging Lil Meech already ran through it. "It's not my fault, it's all gone now," he said. The implication? 50 gave them the bag and they fumbled it. And with every post, every jab, 50 is painting himself as the real architect behind the success, while the Flannerys look more like they're scrambling in the aftermath.
Yeah, so look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino. It's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big, I can feel it. I'm just talking.
As the drama exploded online, fans found themselves split down the middle. Some felt like 50 Cent overreacted, cutting TIs with Lil Meech over one photo with Rick Ross, a picture that, on the surface, seemed harmless. But others were riding with 50, saying his anger was justified. After all, this wasn't just about an image, it was about loyalty, and 50 had gone out of his way to support the Flannery legacy when no one else stepped up. Now, that loyalty felt betrayed, then the plot thickened when Boozy stepped in, and you already know Boozy don't sugarcoat anything. He took one look at Lil Meech's soft, apologetic message to 50 and called it straight up weak. According to Boozy, if someone disrespected his father in public like that, there'd be no calm DMs or passive explanations. "You talk about my dad like that, I'm not holding back. I'm going off," He said, making it clear that Lil Meech's polite tone rubbed him the wrong way. In Boosie's world, family comes first, and Meech's response wasn't strong enough. But of course, 50 Cent wasn't letting that slide either. In classic 50 fashion, he clapped back with receipts, posting a clip from Boosie's interview and putting it all in perspective. "I did more for Meech than anyone else in his life," he wrote. That's why he answered the way he did. And he didn't stop there. 50 revealed that when Lil Meech got into legal trouble, he was the one on speed dial, the one who came through every single time. "I bailed him out every time," he said, making it clear that his support was deeper than anyone knew. Then 50 dropped a bombshell nobody saw coming. He claimed he personally paid for Lil Meech to go to rehab, revealing an alleged addiction to whippets, a party drug often seen in the form of nitrous gas. That revelation added a whole new layer to the story, turning what looked like petty beef into a narrative about betrayal, dependency, and real-life struggles behind the scenes. Now fans weren't just watching drama, they were witnessing the collapse of a mentor-student bond that once looked unbreakable.
Charged me $200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I really can't have this on for longer than 3 or 4 hours. My neck started hurting. You know, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but you know, it's 200 just for a kilo.
What's the pendant cost?
3 just for a pendant. Right here, this is Antarctica. It's the big boy. This thing called it Antarctica. It's the chandelier. Yeah, I might have seen Joe DJ Khaled with this song. It's that big boy, you know.
How much is it?
2 million.
According to 50 Cent, the real issue started brewing long before the drama spilled into the public. He believes Big Meech grew uncomfortable watching 50 and Lil Meech form a tight bond while he was still locked up. In 50's own words, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with how tight me and Meech got. What was once a mentor-prodigy dynamic started to feel like a power shift, and Big Meech wasn't here for it." 50 painted a picture of clashing ideologies. While he was urging Lil Meech to think smart, save his money, and move like a businessman, Big Meech allegedly pushed a different energy. 50 claims whenever he told the young actor to stop blowing his cash, his father will brush it off with, "I used to do that too." To 50, that kind of thinking only fed into recklessness, normalizing the same behavior that once landed Meech Seoster behind bars. And just to drive his point home, 50 brought up the rehab situation again, reminding fans that he's the one who paid for Lil Meech's treatment. Even actor Russell Hornsby, who worked on BMF, reportedly noticed the rising tension. What had started as a debate about loyalty had turned into something deeply personal and volatile, but behind the scenes, 50 says it got worse. He alleged that Lil Meech showed up to say hi, and at one point, he even threw up during a weapons test. When production staff checked his vehicle, they supposedly found it loaded with whippets, the nitrous oxide canisters commonly abused at parties. 50 recalled asking, "What the F is a whippet?" only to learn it was the same stuff used in baby guns. That moment, he says, made it clear this wasn't just industry drama, this was a personal disaster unfolding in real time. Despite all of this, the Flannerys didn't pull back, they doubled down. And instead of backing away from Rick Ross, who Lil Meech had literally dissed in a private message to 50, calling him if Ross, they embraced him fully. The switch up was cold, but the most shocking move came when they added Floyd Mayweather to the mix, one of 50's oldest and most bitter rivals. Soon, photos surfaced, Lil Meech in Miami, shoulder to shoulder with Rick Ross, and Floyd, grinning, with the caption, "With real power," a not so subtle jab at 50's Power series. Days later, another pic dropped, this time showing Big Meech, Lil Meech, and Floyd together again, this time with nothing but a shushing emoji. That silence spoke volumes, something big was brewing, and they wanted the world to wait and watch. Now the rumors are catching fire. Whispers suggest that the Flannerys and Mayweather are secretly plotting a rival project, possibly a new show or film about the Black Mafia family that would directly compete with 50's BM series on Stars. If true, this wouldn't just be beef, it would be an all-out media war with legacy, money, and control of the narrative on the line.
You know, he's still awaiting his case.
Okay.
You know, he's still sitting in jail.
Right.
But recently, I had Day 26 come do my show.
I think I've seen some of that interview, yeah.
Right. So I started talking to him, and, you know, I started talking to Q from Day 26, and he's talking about how, you know, you have sober Diddy, then you have high Diddy. And, you know, you kind of have a different person depending on who you catch on that day. And he starts talking about how he read this one email and he couldn't go into the details, but it had something to do with sacrifices and so forth. And he started to cry. And then the rest of day 26 started to cry. Like, that's never happened to me. I've had people cry in my interviews, but I've never seen a whole group of men start to cry at the same time.
I don't get it. I don't know why somebody would do that to.
So you gotta think mentally what them went through over there, the Danity Kings, day 26. Because making you treating this artist like that, damn, that shit crazy.
At this point, nobody really knows what Big Meech and his circle are plotting, but one thing's for sure, they want 50 Cent to feel the pressure. The alliance with Rick Ross, the photos with Floyd, the social media shade, it's all part of a bigger play. Just weeks ago, Rick Ross himself made noise, publicly claiming he was interested in producing his own BMF movie. But there's just one massive problem. He can't legally touch that story, at least not without 50. According to inside sources speaking with TMZ, 50 still holds the exclusive television and film rights to the BMF legacy, and those rights are locked in tight. So no matter how cozy Ross gets with Big Meech or how many cigars they smoke together in Miami, any official BMF project still runs through 50 Cent. That alone makes the entire move feel awkward. The Flannerys might be moving with confidence, but the legal ground beneath them is shaky at best. Meanwhile, 50 isn't just reacting, he's executing. Word is, his G-Unit film and television team is already deep.
Still trying to find myself. My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? Like, shit, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, to live up to my dad's name. And he called me one day, he's like, man, they looking at Terrence Howard and Nipsey Hussle. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to play me, but you gotta go to acting class so you can get ready. So I met 50. 50 put me in acting class for 2 years in LA. Invested in me, paid for the acting class. I had to go every day, 2 times a day, 5 days a week. In the morning, in the afternoon, come back home, study again, do the same thing the next day.
Wow, and a ball player.
Yeah, but I put in the work though, and it showed me that 50 couldn't get me the job. I had to get myself the job. My dad couldn't get me the job. They would have hired somebody else that already had acting experience. I had no experience.
50 Cent's decision to cast Lil Meech in BMF wasn't just a business move, it was personal. He didn't just hand him a role, he invested in him. 2 years of acting classes, all paid out of pocket, just to make sure Meech had every shot at succeeding. That wasn't just mentorship, it was a commitment to legacy. 50 could have hired a seasoned actor, someone polished, someone trained, but he didn't. He saw something in Lil Meech and bet on him out of respect for Big Meech and the BMF story. But instead of honoring that opportunity with focus and gratitude, Lil Meech seemed to veer off course. There was no clear financial discipline, no sense of strategic planning, just a lifestyle fueled by attention and fast money. And for a while, fans gave him grace. They saw him as a young man caught in the crossfire of his father's past and 50 Cent's expectations. But now, that grace is drying up. The public is watching Lil Meech embrace the same circles that once stood in opposition to 50, posing with Rick Ross, hanging out with Floyd Mayweather, and it feels like betrayal. The optics are messy. Just last year, Lil Meech was throwing shots at Ross and swearing loyalty to 50. Now he's cozying up with those same names like nothing happened. The flip in allegiance has fans questioning everything. What's real? Who's guiding him? And why the sudden shift? To make matters worse, rumors have exploded that Big Meech and his son are teaming up with Ross and Floyd to create a rival BMF movie. But that raises serious legal questions. According to reports, Big Meech already signed over his life rights to Tammy Cowens, the very producer who helped 50 Cent bring the original BMF series to Stars. If that's true, neither Meech nor his son legally own their own story anymore. So how would a rival production even work? The situation feels less like a bold business move and more like a chaotic retaliation. Some fans see it as an emotional response and attempt to provoke 50 after personal tensions flared. Others believe it's about clout, not storytelling. If Ross and Floyd are pushing the project, the angle may not be legacy, it may be leverage. Headlines and a quick cash grab. Now everyone's watching, waiting to see how this plays out. Was 50 Cent justified in publicly criticizing Big Meech as a bad influence? Or is this just a clash of egos spinning out of control? Whatever the truth is, One thing's for sure, this isn't the end of the BMF saga. It's just getting